So part 4. When he comes to visit again, this is June, I think. Yeah, it's June. And so we dropped my daughter off at camp that morning. He handed her some money. He was like, "Is this how it worked?" And I was like, "Well, shit, if he don't know, I ain't gonna tell him." And we went to go charge up his car. And on the way, he was like, "This is how this is gonna work. Here's the card for you to use, and you'll get some money a month. But as long as you are my lady, you know, you'll be taken care of. But you gotta do more. You gotta, you know, you gotta hustle more. You gotta do more." And I was like, okay, yeah. He told me, like, going along, I knew a little bit more about his past. So I knew that his wife had left him because he was cheating. But he assured me that he was out of that. Plus, the amount of time we're spending on the phone or together, I'm like, you got to have a body double to be able to, you know, have time to cheat with somebody else. But when he told me about his cousin's website, I decided to reach out to her and pay for a reading. And I'm gonna try to put in there. The reading was done on June the 6th. And it was 8 minutes and 16 seconds. She did it over a YouTube video, and she sent me the private link. And she basically told me that it's either he's working a lot or there's other women. Well, my daughter was working at his so-called restaurant front, and he was never there. So I knew it wasn't that he was working too much. He also gambled a lot, which I learned, you know, older men do a lot of gambling. And mind you, he's not older. We're the same age. And so his cousin had pretty much told me everything that I needed to know. She even said something about being fed up and walking away. Now, mind you, he is a pastor, so he doesn't really, and that's one of the things I was like, well, how can you as a pastor date somebody that is not the traditional Christian Baptist? Because I believe in, you know, not other guys. I believe in other things, tarot cards and sage and, you know, different things that are not traditional. It's kind of spooky. Witchcraft, if you're not educated, is what they would call it. And he was like, I guess I'm going to have to get used to it. And then he told me, of course, about his cousin. But he carries stones in his pocket. So everything he's saying is kind of contradicting who he is showing me. So June the 6th, I got that tarot card reading done on him. But I made sure not to put his card when I paid for it. I used my card. So she wouldn't be able to put the 2 and 2 together, because he had also went and got a reading done, not just on me, but on the relationship. So she pretty much confirmed that I would be walking away and I would be ending things. And it was like 2 weeks later when I did finally say, you know what, I can't do this anymore. It's too much mentally. I had got to the point where when I was at his house for like a weekend, I carry my stress in my shoulders. So my shoulders had literally climbed up to my ears, and I was just literally like this. And I remember being in the car with him, and we were riding, and he said something, and I couldn't turn my neck. I had to literally like grab my shoulders and turn. And I was like, what did you just say? Still, I'm not listening to my body, because my body has given me every indication to run. The knots in my shoulder, the not being able to turn my neck. The first time I went to go meet him, I started having an earache. I don't normally get earaches, but I had got my hair straightened like he wanted. And I felt like water had got in my ear, and that was the reason why I was having this earache. Not listening to my intuition, you know, my body telling me, bitch, don't go, don't do it. And so something happened where I went up there during the week, and he was like, well, I want you to come to the restaurant with me. I want you to see how it's run, because chances are you'll be working in here. I was like, I'm just signing up to, you know. But then too, I was thinking, well, this is some more of his life that he's introducing me to, that he, you know, wants me to be a part of. So I go. And people that he works with, like higher ups, you know, he was introducing me as his woman. And this was real early on, where I hadn't decided that we were going to be a couple. I'm still like, we're still, you know, easing into it. So I'm watching this, and then he was like, the penthouse ain't gonna really work for us. Why don't we look for something where the kids can have a yard? And I was like, this shit is moving way too fast. It's going way too fast. But I didn't pump the brakes. I didn't stop. And we had a conversation where he couldn't control my finances. I didn't tell him about my finances. I only told him, you know, I make it happen. I make it do what it do. And he suggested that I get a job at McDonald's. Now, mind you, I don't even eat McDonald's. But I was like, I'm not hurting for, you know, to sink that low. It's not that kind of, it's not that bad. But he said, you have to be bringing in some kind of income, but you got to be showing me some effort, because it's not going to be just me giving. And I was like, why I didn't ask you? Like, you told me that I would be getting an allowance, and you told me that this was a card. And it would be to the point where he was like, I'm putting gas in your car for you to come and see me. That's what your kids should be having. If she messing with somebody or dating somebody, then he should be putting gas in her car the way I'm putting it in you. When you got gas, whose car did you use? It would be those kind of conversations. And so after the conversation, like, you should get a job at McDonald's, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go back. You know, I'm gonna drive back right now. I'm going right fucking now. And so here again is another time I'm storming out, where I should know that this is it. This is it. And yet it's still, you know, I'm still, I don't know, collecting the red flags. So as you know, I'm coming out with my suitcase, he walks me to the car, and he says, you know, I love you, right? And this isn't the first time he said it. And I was like, okay. And I got in the car, and I drove off. And I came, and I sat in front of like the cigar bar lounge when I got here. And I was like, should I go in? Should I go in? I was like, no, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to get ready, and I'm going to prepare, you know, to study some more herbs. Plus, you know, he had just bought me some new herbs on this trip too. So I, you know, had some herbs to study, and, you know, some new batches to make and things like that. And I started to really say, is this how it's going to be? He's going to build you up during the day and make you feel amazing. And at night, he's going to make you feel like trash. He's going to make you feel like shit. He's going to make all of the work that you have done on yourself thus far, he's tearing it away. He's shattering it bit by bit by bit by bit. And I kept thinking, it's me. I'm self-sabotaging, because he had the gift of gab. He could turn any situation around within a few words, like pastors do, right?